Aggie, played by Lorna Laidlaw, was thrust into Abi's, Sally Carmen, new storyline tonight on Coronation Street as the quest to find the mother of a newborn continued. Piecing the jigsaw together during Wednesday night's episode of the ITV soap, the beloved nurse thought she would pay the mechanic a visit as she noticed her neighbor had been looking rather frail. It wasn't long before her suspicions were confirmed, and she even played a part in convincing the mother to fight for her son. But by the end of the dramatic installment, things weren't looking too good for the drug addict, and she could be looking for blood. After she connected the dots thanks to the discovery of a red jacket matching the one the woman who gave birth to the baby was wearing, Aggie pleaded her case. "They will do a DNA test, and if yours is on record, they will find you," she said with regards to the police's investigation. She urged the mechanic to talk to her, mother to mother, but Abi did everything in her power to reject any source of help. "There is a little boy fighting for his life in the neonatal unit and no one has the faintest idea who the mother is," the matriarch continued. "That's the way I want to keep it," Abi replied, adding, "I don't want him. I didn't even know I was pregnant. I just went into labor and there he was." Trying to sympathize with her neighbor, Aggie said, "You've had a terrible shock and I cannot begin to imagine what that's like. But it has happened. You need to face up to it," she continued, and it wasn't long before she discovered the child wasn't Kevin Webster's, Michael Lavelle. The mechanic urged the nurse to forget anything had ever happened, to which Aggie explained she couldn't because of her role at the hospital. "It is my duty to tell social services and I have no choice because it's a safeguarding issue. Trust me, they will be able to help you." After failing to win over Abi again, the matriarch left the Webster household and returned to the hospital where she informed them who the baby's mother was. As the episode continued, Abi found herself trapped in a warehouse after she tried to report her drug-dealing friend for stealing a car. Needing to escape from her prison, the mechanic, who was in a huge amount of pain, crashed the car into the doors to set herself free. Unfortunately, she fell unconscious when the car collided with a skip outside the warehouse and the emergency services managed to get hold of Toya Battersby, Georgia Taylor. Making her way to the hospital, the Cobbles resident was shocked to learn what her friend had been through and how Aggie had made the call to social services. Once the mechanic came around from her operation, Toya tried to make her see why she had to fight for her son, having no idea her partner Imran Habib, Charlie DeMelo, was the father. Although Abi flung insult after insult at her, Toya stayed by her side, and when the social worker paid the mother a visit, it seemed her mind was changed. However, she was dealt the cruel blow because she was on drugs at the time of giving birth, and as she was involved in a criminal investigation, getting custody was going to be very unlikely. "I need you to understand it could be a long and difficult road if you want to be a part of his life," the social worker explained. She also brought up the fact Abi had given up her twins for adoption and whether this would be the best outcome for her new baby. Abi was given some hope as she was told she would be able to see him in the hospital whilst he was still under their care. "How well do you know your British soaps? How many times has Ian Beale been married in EastEnders? What is the name of Bianca Jackson and Ricky Butcher's son on EastEnders? On EastEnders in 2002, who accidentally ran Jamie Mitchell over in his car which caused his death? How many times has Corey's Steve McDonald been married? What happened to Emily Bishop in Coronation Street? Who murdered Maxine Peacock in Coronation Street in 2003? Which incident in 1993 killed off 4 characters in Emmerdale? When did the show stop being known as Emmerdale Farm? On what day did Hollyoaks air its first episode? What was the name of the much-loved Coronation Street pet dog who was put down in April 2020 after 14 years? 1996 saw the arrival of one of Hollyoaks' all-time bad boys and rival of Kurt Benson, but who is he? Who is the longest-serving character on Coronation Street? Who shot Phil in EastEnders? How many fires have there been at Corey's Rover's return? Get out of my pub, you're no soaps fan. You're either too young to remember the big lines or have better things to do on weekday evenings. Casual viewer, you watch them sometimes so you kinda know what's been going on. Die hard fan, you love watching the soaps so much your entire week is planned around when they air. But I need to make you aware, depending on the outcome of our assessment, you may not be able to take him, the care worker continued. Abi was heartbroken as she replied, "You cannot do that to me. I made a mistake. I didn't know I was pregnant or I never would have got high." By the end of the episode, she was immensely defeated and it seems she will want to get revenge for another child being taken away from her. Viewers saw last year Abi is willing to resort to murder to make things right in her book as she turned a gun on the boy who killed her eldest son. This resulted in her crumbling and led to her having a one-night stand with Imran. This time, she could go through with her attempts to murder the person who took her son away from her, and she thinks this is Aggie. Knowing the beloved nurse also hid the fact Tim Metcalf, Joe Duttine, was ill from his wife, Sally Metcalf, Sally Deniver, she could see getting rid of the matriarch as the right thing to do. However, whether she would be able to get away with murder is another thing, as people would be looking for Aggie if she were to go missing. Could this be a double exit as both Abi and Aggie make their departures as part of the storyline?